I believe 5 points, good quality education. Number 1, beneficial for more people. Number 2, sustainable, where it can be our jariah for our hereafter, insyaAllah. Number 3, adab and akhlak, where not only the students but the teachers and lecturers also must portray good adab and akhlak. Then number 4, ikhlas, from the heart. Why? Because we want knowledge which are honest, so that it could benefit more people. And lastly, to use dialogue and discussion as the technique, which is shared by Rasulullah SAW, so that it when we ask question and we have dialogue with the students, it triggers their mind to give answer wisely, and to make them a better thinker, to develop more innovation, technological innovation, which is down to earth and contribute to the ummah, insyaAllah. Thank you.
Okay, for my opinion, quality education must have personal touch. Because every student are different kind of learners. We have auditory learners, we have visual learners, we have kinesthetic learners. So you need to have different kind of assessment, different method of teaching. For visual learners, you can use the different kind of teaching aids, the slides and everything. For auditory learners, you can use stories and you can tell anything that's suitable for them. For kinesthetic learners, you need to let them experience the learning content and materials. Then you can target or you can achieve your quality education.
Okay, so good quality education must have social, emotional, physical and cognitive developments for each student, regardless of their gender, ethnicity, socio-economic and their geographic locations. Good quality educations must prepare the students for the future and not just only for the examinations. And it is aligned with sustainable goals number 4, which is quality education, whereby it focuses on inclusive and equitable educations and opportunity for lifelong learning for all.
I think in this sense, in a broader sense, IIUM and the national education philosophy have captured the idea of quality education in that it has to have a clear, meaningful direction, it has to have a clear outcome, right, and the right approach. But I think in a more specific context, in our own classroom, what quality education really is that teachers need to make sure that the knowledge that we impart to our students has to be meaningful, has to be beneficial and useful, so that they can apply the knowledge that they receive in the classroom to better themselves and to better the people around them. And I think if we are able to deliver this, then that means we have delivered quality education to our students.
Wow, that's a big question. Well, if you ask me, quality education is something that is supposed to be humanizing. You remember humanizing education? Yep, that spirit still lives on and on and on. Why? Because when everybody involved in the process of education, they understand that education is something humane and everybody who are involved are also human beings. When we understand that, we can become more compassionate, we can become more inclusive, we can become more empathetic. And when we are all of those, we can be somebody better, we can make something better, and we can make education much, much better. Inshallah.
For me, a good quality education must have a good lecturer with a right attitude. So for me, right attitudes include full commitment in carrying out the task, full responsibility, amanah, and also willing to take any new challenge. Likewise, a good quality education must also have to come from a student, because it takes two to tango, and then student also must have right attitude, and also student must have very responsive in class, and also always happy, looking forward to learn new things. And last but not least, which is very important, I believe lecturers and students must have good quality, must have a right niyyah, and also always put education as part of ibadah to Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. A good quality education must have, first, supportive learning environments that encourage students to excel in their study. Second, dedicated and innovative teachers that provides learning via visual, verbal and hands-on. Third, assessment that measure and evaluate the students' performance for improvement. Thank you.
What is quality education? So, quality is a very wide definition is very wide. But from my point of view, quality education should provide or should produce someone that is balanced between the dunia and akhirat. So quality itself coming from must have a factor lah. So the factor that affecting the quality education, in my opinion, the teacher should be qualified teacher, resourceful. Okay, the resource should be quality resource, and also the environment should support the learning system lah. So quality education is very important because it is a tool for students to be a knowledgeable person, to be a reliable person, and also maybe a sustainable in the long run. Thank you.
Okay, to me, a good quality education must have good top management, which means that they must have a good understanding between the managers and the educators and the administrators.
Saya berpendapat elemen yang paling penting ialah face to face, iaitu ini adalah prinsip asal Quran diturunkan kepada Rasulullah SAW dan solat difardukan. Dalam konteks kita, face to face ini saya tidak bermaksudkan antara Jibril dengan Rasulullah sahaja ataupun antara Rasulullah dengan Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala sahaja dalam kes menerima kefarduan solat. Saya bermaksudkan face to face di sini ialah antara guru dengan student, antara imam dengan makmum, antara parent dengan anak-anak. Dan ini berlaku secara fizikal, secara face to face dalam semua situasi. Contoh dalam salat, imam kena maklumkan kepada makmum-makmum bahawa adab-adab solatnya begini. Kan? Dalam kes kita dalam kelas dan seumpamanya, kita boleh tengok student dan student boleh tengok kita boleh kenali student dan student boleh kenali kita secara direct. Dan ini pada saya ialah satu cara yang sangat efektif dalam proses pembelajaran dan pendidikan.
So, a good quality education must have a clear direction in producing a balanced and harmonious human beings in terms of physical, emotional, spiritual and intellectual. That is aligned with our University Sejahtera Academic Framework and the Falsafah Pendidikan Kebangsaan. So if the education sectors can reach this goal, we can ensure comprehensive and holistic development of our young generation. And to reach this goal, it requires intensive efforts from all stakeholders, including teachers, students, parents, administrators and also the policy makers. And this good quality education is important to the societies because it can lead to better employment opportunities, it can improve the academic outcomes, and it can contribute to the peaceful and democratic societies as a whole.
For me, good quality education, it's involved three main roles here. The first one is our government or the institutions who are supposed to set up the good quality educations that they want to be achieved. And then secondly, the roles of the instructor ataupun educators itself, how good we can make it delivered to the students, how effective it can be transferred to the students and our guidance as well.
And then thirdly is the student that receive the education itself. For me, it has to be meaningful to them, meaning to say that they want to gain the knowledge by themselves. They realize that this is important for them. And then the other criteria that is supposed to be useful for them as well, for their own living in the future, and then according to the professions that they involve. And then lastly, it has to be sustainable, meaning that how they share the knowledge to the ummah.
A good quality education must have the inclusive policy, and this means that all the students will get the same opportunity in learning. Okay, be it whether they are a normal student or they have some kind of disability. Okay, so for example, in this university, how do we prove that? We try to provide them the same opportunity in learning. Is that, for example, we give them extra time during exam, and also for those students who have difficulty to go to class, so we provide them the transport to send them and to pick up them from the class.
Good quality educations must have social, emotional, physical, and
Opportunity in learning. So nobody is going to be
What you had for lunch?
Oh, mashallah, I had rice, you know.
Rice.
Proper Malaysian.
Okay. Aku cakap